when it comes to manifesting our dreams and becoming the person that we aspire to be, it all comes down to how serious are we? And on today's episode, we're going to be talking just about that and how the two are connected. So stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to the Ripple Effect of You podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Williams. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much to all of our recent subscribers. We're so excited to have you. On this show, we talk about things related to spirituality, leveling up, and entrepreneurship. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you here with me and for us to have all these conversations and just to really live our best lives. And feel free to comment too. I love to see comments and to really interact with everybody, so feel free to leave those. Okay, so back to today's episode. I want to talk to you all about why, if you want to manifest, you need to take yourself more seriously. Have you ever had like a big goal or a dream, and the minute that you really started to really like crack down on the things that you needed to do in order to make that stuff happen, you really actually made it happen? Well, it's come to my attention more recently as I'm of course in this process of personal development and just learning more things and just diving more into spirituality. I realized that stuff really does show up when we show up. The question is, are we willing to really take things seriously in the way that we need to take them seriously? I think so many of us, including myself at times, have said that we wanted certain things or wanted to do certain things, but at the same time it really came down to, well, are we actually serious about it? Because if we're serious about it, that means we're going to go in detail into making that stuff happen. And I don't know about you, but when I've gotten really serious about things, that's when that stuff happens. And I realized that so much of life is about not just showing up, but actually taking our own selves seriously. Like really seeing ourselves as a person that we want to be and actually embodying that person. And this can be challenging at times because sometimes people might tell us that, we're not that person, or they might doubt us or shun us, or we might have obstacles that come in the way that make it seem like we are losing our minds, or like, are we actually becoming this person? But I realize that is all a part of the process. The test that we receive, a part of this process of becoming ourselves, is actually allowing us to incorporate and embody that we do actually take ourselves seriously. Because if you're serious about your life, you are going to show up to things. You're going to do what you need to do. You're going to become that person that you need to be and learn what those traits are of the person that you need to be, so that you can actually go and do that in the world. And so if you really want to upgrade your life, I want to really encourage you, and also to challenge you, as I am challenging myself, because on the show we all do it together, is to really start saying, how serious are you about your goals? How serious are you about your life? How serious are you about the purpose that you want to create in the world? Because at the end of the day, no one is going to be pushing you to fulfill your goals. No one's going to be pushing you to go after your purpose. And no one's going to be pushing you to just live your best life, because they don't care. No offense. I mean, let's just say, thankfully, yes, we do have loved ones and friends and things like that who might check in on us. But I also realize that a lot of people are living their own lives, which means that we need to hold our own selves accountable. And I feel like the more that we hold ourselves accountable, the more that things will actually start to happen and start to shift into becoming what we need it to be in order for us to move forward in the world. But again, the question becomes, how serious are you about your life? How serious are you about your goals? The great part is, it's still January, right? We're like in mid-January right now, even though this message is always timeless. So whenever you find it, it will resonate for you at that time. But the key idea and the key strategy, again, is that we need to really take ourselves seriously. Because when we take ourselves seriously, there's like an identity shift that happens. And this is where I've been reading this book by Dr. Joe Dispenza called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I love this book, and I will keep preaching about it. It's kind of dense because it goes so much into the brain and too much of science and all these other themes that are very important for navigating why we think the way that we think, how our emotions and feelings and body affect why we feel the way that we feel and why we show up the way that we do. But I really want to stress that if you have time to read that book, because it will really just change your entire perspective on your identity and why you see yourself in the way that you do. And so as you do become to see yourself in the way that you do, you start to understand why do you have the habits that you do? Why do you do the things that you do? It's all a part of these things that we maybe have learned over time or through, going through different challenges that we've had in life and going through like survival mode in that sense to get through one thing, to get through this thing, get through that thing. It's like we start incorporating all these things that make us into who we are, which may not actually be who we want to be. And so this is where that shift happens, where you have to say to yourself, I am going to take myself more seriously. I am going to actually become and embody the habits, the traits, the things that actually make up the person who I want to be. And so it comes down to, are you going to take yourself seriously, to level up, to upgrade, to just really become your biggest supporter, your biggest hero, your biggest everything that you've ever wanted to be? Because it really all comes down to you deciding to do that. So I'm really excited to just challenge you in this and for us to have this conversation today. And I feel like even though this is like the simplest thing to think about, I actually think that it is pivotal in how we show up in the world and how we actually start to embody the person that we want to become. Because when you take yourself seriously, stuff just happens for you as you do, because the world will meet you where you are. People will meet you where you are. When you respect yourself, other people will respect you. Because everything is a mirror. Every little thing is literally a mirror, which is also another thing that I'm realizing. And I feel like probably maybe for some of you who are coming across this message, you might be just realizing that yourself, that, as you're in the world, navigating the world, some of the people that you're coming across, you're realizing like, oh my gosh, wait, that is like me being reflected right back to me. Like, what does it say about me? What does it say about what's happening? Da, 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 da. So again, just start to really, embrace this and challenge this and question these things and understand what things can you change about yourself to really embody who it is that you want to be. And that will help you to then manifest your dream life, to manifest those things that you really want to see happen in the world, that you're helping to shape within the world. And this is where you become the ripple effect of you in the process. So thank you so much for joining me on this edition and this episode of the Ripple Effect of You podcast. I hope that you'll join me for more messages. Like, again, I'm so excited to keep delivering these and to keep having these conversations about things that I'm also learning, because it's also making me just see things differently and to really just start to incorporate different things that I never thought that I actually would. And here we are today. So anyways, I'll see you next time and take care.